Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be me reacting to your unpopular opinions. How dare you? So I asked you guys, I felt like doing a juicy video. I just felt like being naughty. I felt like being sassy. I felt like causing a bit of a stir, you know? It just sometimes comes over me, you know, the need to start a ruckus for no reason. I asked you guys which you would rather see, reacting to your unpopular opinions, a juicy, no holds barred Q&A, which is also a popular choice, or reacting to your assumptions, and I wouldn't say a landslide, 49% of you wanted unpopular opinions. A lot of you also wanted a juicy Q&A, so maybe we'll do that next, okay? So let's just say you guys came through. I had so many responses to my cries for some unpopular opinions. I definitely can't get through them all, so I'm just going to do as many as I can, and I'm going to start from the first to the most recent questions, because it's first come first serve here, okay? And we're going to get through as many as possible, but we're going to do our best. We're going to get through as many as we physically can. Again, if you can hear my fan, I'm so sorry, but as I said in my previous video, the options were a fan, which might be slightly annoying noise wise, or death. So I chose life, okay, and a slightly annoying noise. I'm sorry. Okay, first up, Pat McGrath eyeshadows are way too shimmery. Too shimmery? Too shimmery? What does that mean? What is this? And all palettes look the same. I definitely feel like in the recent years there's been, you know, a pattern. There's definitely, we're pulling rosy, we're pulling pinky. We've always pulled gold. There's definitely not been a really standout, completely different palette for a few years now. I definitely agree on that one. But too shimmery? Is that a thing? Next up, combing your eyebrows up thing is nearly as bad as the Sharpie brow and needs to go. I mean, obviously I disagree. I love a laminated brow. I mean, here's the thing. There are levels, okay? I do agree with the crazy, like, the first day brow lamination is extreme, but I love a fluffy laminated brow. It's my favorite, you know. Not for everybody, but nothing it really is for everybody. I feel like brows and lashes, very subjective. Everybody likes them slightly different. It's not for everybody, but then if it's not for you, don't do them. But definitely don't tell me not to, because I'm gonna do it, okay? So there, not my mum. Next up, matte lipsticks are horrible. I mean, if we're talking about liquid matte lipsticks, I'm 50% in agreement with you. There are a couple of exceptions. I wouldn't say are horrible, but I would say are not as nice as like a nice luminous glowy one either, okay? So yeah, I'd almost say that's not really an unpopular opinion. I feel like a lot of people are with you on that one. Laura, Pillow Talk mascara is terrible. How dare you? Respectfully disagree. Here's the thing. Lashes, one, again, like I said, as with brows as well. Brows and lashes, they're probably two most subjective areas of makeup that there are, because everyone likes them different. But the other thing is, even if you like your lashes the same as mine, you like your mascaras the same as mine, how a mascara performs on you is going to be completely different to the next person, because our natural lashes are completely different to each other's, you know, whether they're longer, shorter, thicker, the texture of your lashes, how much lift or curl you do or don't have, all of that is going to suit a mascara or not differently to the next person. So I'm so sorry it didn't work for you, but it's not terrible, is it? How dare you? Take it back. Oh my, these are getting more and more shocking as we go up. I haven't really looked at any of these. When they first started coming through, I saw them and then I was like, no, I don't want to see them. I want to like see them for the first time as we're doing this video. And I am shook right now. Illuminate concealer is overrated. Pardon? I mean, here's the thing. I guess if you have completely perfect skin and no children, and immaculate under eyes, then yes, I guess it is overrated. For the rest of us, if anything, it's underrated, okay? Let's not. I'm almost afraid to say this one. I'm almost afraid to say it because I can tell you, Mama Namalik, people are not going to like this one. Drugstore makeup is not worth it and costs more in the long run than buying quality product. I can see the comments already. They're coming for you. I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying these things, okay? That was Mama Namalik. It was not me, all right? Here's the thing. I agree to... here's the thing. Hold up. I'm frightened. I'm flustered. One thing that I will say I agree with you as far as it costs more in the long run is when it comes to mascara. I definitely found when I used to use drugstore mascaras, but drugstore mascaras prices are going through the roof. I saw the other day there was some drugstore mascara. It's like $17.99, $18.99. L'Oreal, what are you doing with your prices? So yeah, then it's like they're only a couple of pounds less than higher end mascaras, and I did used to find, I'm sure there are exceptions, but I did used to find my drugstore mascaras lasting like 2 weeks before they're not performing anymore and dried out, whereas my Charlotte Tilbury, my MAC stack, those are lasting me months. So of course if you're having to repurchase every 2 or 3 weeks, then actually the value for money is a bit lost there versus something that lasts you for months. It's actually better value for money. So I understand what you're saying, but I also do think that there are amazing drugstore products that work beautifully on people, that people love and are more than good enough for doing a beautiful face of makeup. I don't use drugstore makeup anymore purely because it's just not what gives me joy, but it's not because I don't think there are good drugstore products out there, and there are lots of people who have no interest in high-end makeup and get on really, really well with drugstore makeup. So I understand to a degree what you're saying, and yes, I have my preference of high-end makeup. I prefer it, but I definitely understand people who love drugstore makeup and are like, it more than is, satisfying their requirements for a lot less money. So, each to their own. Gus Snail, a gold eye. Wait. No, that's not correct. A bold eye. You can't just change the questions. A bold eye can balance a bold lip. I'd agree with that, actually. I typically... What a rude tractor. I typically will go, it's a bit like the boobs or legs, never both. That's a very old-fashioned rule and no one has to abide by it. But I do typically, just because I am shy. But I also typically abide by bold lip or bold eye because I like a bit of balance. I like to have like a focus either on my lips or my eyes, depending on my mood, But that's not to say that you can't have a look with both. I've seen some absolute bangers. Sometimes I'm in the mood for it myself. I totally agree. Dadagi, I'm so sorry, I've definitely butchered your Instagram handle. I don't like Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk lipstick. It looks orangey brown on me. 100% with you. I love Charlotte Tilbury. I love Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I don't like Pillow Talk. It's probably my least favourite shade from the brand. It just doesn't suit me. I don't think it suits everybody, which is probably why they brought out some other variations of it, the deep and the medium shades of Pillow Talk, because the original claim that it suits and flatters everybody is a lie and a fib and a blackguard. Don't actually know what a blackguard is, so if it's really offensive, I can only apologise. I thought it was to do with pirates. Is that correct? There were actually a few Charlotte Tilbury related slander comments along these lines, but another one is that a common one that was several people responded with was that Charlotte Tilbury's line is too warm, too peach or orange, everything, eyeshadows, lipsticks are always peachy and orange, and that's a fact. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. Charlotte Tilbury's whole line typically is very peachy and very orange, and very warm. That is her brand's aesthetic. And some brands, they mix it up. They have a whole range of colour palettes, and Natasha Denona is a good example. She does everything from soft glam to neon, arrays of rainbow colours and everything in between, every shade, every colour in the rainbow. Charlotte Tilbury is a brand that sticks to their aesthetic. They have their customer, their clientele, and they have their aesthetic and they have their colour story that they stick to, and it works for them, and it's obviously very popular, and it keeps their customer, who that's what they want, very, very happy. But yes, I understand that lots of people were crying out for them to do something different, But for those of us like myself who love all of that, the peaches, the oranges, the warm tones, that's why I love Charlotte Tilbury, and that's what we love the brand for. So I wouldn't expect them to change anytime soon. They are a brand who have, like, they want to have a look and an aesthetic, and they're typically, their look, it's like bridal you but better. That's kind of what Charlotte Tilbury do. I'd be very surprised if they changed that anytime soon, but who knows? Who can say? So this is an interesting one from Shiseido. I'm so sorry again, probably butchered your Instagram handle. Bronzing the forehead and cheeks looks like a gradient when the upper part of the face is dark and the chin is pale. Never heard this one before. My thought is that, I mean, you're not wrong in a way. I mean, there's obviously, again, there's levels, okay? I do tend to bronze forehead, cheeks, jawline a little bit. So I do venture to the bottom half of the face with my bronzer. But ultimately, bronzer is there. I mean, obviously you can use bronzer in different ways, but typically if you're wanting to naturally bronze the face, what you're trying to do is mimic where the sun hits, which is up here, up yonder, okay? It's up here. That's where, you know, if you're walking down the road on a summer's day, where the sun hits is where you want to place your bronzer. So it's, you know, your forehead, cheeks, nose. That is where the sun hits. And if we're trying to mimic a natural sun-kissed look, that's why, that's kind of where the placement is, you know? I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't like it, but that's why I'm doing it. Ramona says, I like the Urban Decay Wild Greens palette. Well, good for you, okay? And don't let anybody tell you that there's anything wrong with that. We all have, I'm just trying to Google it because I cannot remember. Okay, I remember it now. I mean, here's the thing. I think it looks really, really nice. As a colour story, I really, really like it. For me, I skipped on it because the swatches I saw were a little disappointing. The Urban Decay eyeshadow formula for me has been disappointing and erratic. There's no consistency there. Over the last few years, it's kind of been all over the place. So that's why I passed on it. But the colour story I think is gorgeous. And if you bought it and you enjoy it and you like it, don't let anyone else tell you you're wrong, because you aren't, okay? We like what we like. How Mal says, another one, I don't like liquid lipsticks, yet to find one that doesn't make my lips drier than the Sahara. Now, have you tried the Chanel Double Tenue? Now, I will say that's not really matte. They are shiny, but they are a liquid lipstick and they're phenomenal, okay? But I hear you, yeah, same. Liz Baked Lemons says, makeup sponges are bacteria growers. Again, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's a fact. I think we're all aware, just a lot of us, me included, do not care, okay? It's my own bacteria. I worked hard on that, and that's, leave me alone, all right? I do wash it. I wash it every time I use it. I understand that that isn't killing all of the bacteria, but like I said, it's my bacteria and I grew it myself and I'm somewhat proud of it, all right? Leave me alone. Oh, Nick Morby. Overlined lips look ridiculous. I mean, I've certainly seen some that do fit that description. I won't lie. But I've also seen some incredible ones. I feel like, again, there's levels. An overlined lip, subtly done, well blended, not gone crazy, not trying to quadruple the size of them, can have its moment. The crazy, like, whoa, that's half your face. Those, I can agree, questionable. Okay, so Trinoline Laura Mercier powder makes me look old AF. And you're not the only person. I had like 3 of that exact same reaction, so maybe not as unpopular as you may think. Here's the thing, I agree. The Laura Mercier powder, well, I'm not going to say it's not for me, because actually to set, like if I was to use it on my nose and down around here, it does a very good job of mattifying and staying, you know, of oil control for sure. I would definitely not recommend putting that under your eyeballs if you're over 7. I would never ever in my life put that over my entire face. However, that being said, I have a normal skin type. I'm 38. if you are 15 with oily skin, you're probably going to have a completely different experience of that product. And that's the thing. I think a lot of Instagram makeup artists, a lot of TikTokers are literally like 18 years old. If I've seen some who are like 15, okay, and they're phenomenal at makeup, and all of this stuff looks incredible on them. A full face of Laura Mercier powder on an oily skinned 15-year-old is gonna look quite different than it is on me. Let me tell you that for nothing. Right, I definitely cannot pronounce your name here because I don't know where to start, so I'm really sorry. Chocolate and bacon are disgusting. Excuse me. I'm going to have to assume, do you mean together? Do you mean chocolate and bacon together? Because who is doing that? Bacon, maple syrup and pancakes, I'm on board, okay? One of my favourite, I discovered that in Barbados, tried it for the first time. I'd always wanted to try it. I was hooked. It's now like my favourite breakfast, okay? But chocolate and bacon, is that a thing? I haven't been alerted that we're doing this now. If you mean individually as items that chocolate is disgusting and bacon is disgusting, how dare you? What do you mean? Those are two of the most glorious things on this planet. What's happening? Please clarify in the comment section below. Please tell me you mean as a combination, because I cannot believe you're trying to say chocolate is disgusting. And bacon, what do you do when you've got a hangover? Because what else is curing that other than bacon? What do you do? Lisa, gin and tonic is disgusting. Ooh. I mean, I will say it's not my favourite, but I can certainly get on board with a gin and tonic with a huge wallop of a lemon in there on a summer's day. Maybe, here's the thing, there are very, very many different types of gin. There is a wide variety of flavours, okay? Also, it must be very, very cold. It must be done with the right ratio. I feel like gin and tonic is not something to mess around with measures. Don't do like a triple gin and tonic, okay? It's got to be balanced. Flavours, you must have lemon in it, otherwise go to jail. But yeah, I get it. Not everybody likes everything, and that's allowed. And the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer is terrible. Patchy mess, colours awful. That is not my experience. I'm so sorry that has happened to you. I mean, obviously, again, every product does not work the same for every person. I can only tell you that has not been my experience. I found it, you know, I'm not going to tell you a cream is good without it being phenomenal. I have had I've got it on today. I love it. I find it very, very flattering, very easy to work with. And yeah, so I'm intrigued. I'm so sorry it doesn't work for you and you haven't found a colour that is flattering on your skin tone. But yeah, it is the sad truth of makeup is that not everything works for everybody, and it's frankly rude that is the case. GMW, TikTok reviews are pointless. Don't tell the kids, they will be furious, okay? Don't tell them. Here's the thing, I think different platforms attract different audience with a different requirement. TikTok reviews are pointless for me, I will say. You just don't have enough time. I mean, there are a certain type of review that you could do. If you're doing a speed, like comparison of colours or a quick rundown of like ranking or something like that, to try and do like a foundation review where you apply it. I mean, remember what happened with Bobbi Browngate? That was a whole mess. And that was ultimately because we were trying to do a whole foundation review in like 20 seconds. And it just can't be done in that length of time with any real, like, going into depth on the colours and the shades available and the price and the finish and the coverage and, you know, doing things like flash tests and wear tests. It just can't be done in the amount of time you've got on a TikTok video. But I think the kids these days, they just want you to tell them as much as you can in 60 seconds and get out of here. They don't want to sit down and watch a 20-minute video. So I think it's probably a case of TikTok serves a certain audience when it comes to makeup reviews. Also, the quality on there is a potato. Like, you can't upload like a 4K beautiful video where you can see everything perfectly. And a lot of people are using filters, so you can't see anything in real life how it's actually going to look either. So yeah, they're pointless to me, but clearly the kids love it. Over 40s can wear shimmer and glitter. Yes, they can, and don't let anyone tell you different. I will be wearing glitter and shimmer all up in my lids and my eyeballs until someone wrestles it from my claw, okay? I won't be told. A lesson at a time says the Pat McGrath Concealer sucks and separates everywhere. Oh, I'm so sorry it hasn't worked for you. That is really sad. I love it. It's an amazing concealer. I know a lot of you guys have gotten onto it after, you know, me raving about it for many years. But again, I mean, you're saying it separates everywhere, leads me to believe that it's falling out with something. Are you leaving enough time after you've applied eye cream? Are you using something that might be fighting with it? I'm not sure, but I'm really sorry that hasn't worked for you. Obviously it does work for me very, very well. I do not have that problem, but yeah, I'm really sorry. That is sad when products do not work for you how they have worked for someone else. That's really annoying. I can only apologise on everybody's behalf. Hayley Ann says Olaplex is overrated. Not in this house. Olaplex fully changed my hair. It is the stuff of dreams. It's revolutionized my hair, how it looks, how it feels, and the health of it. So it's 100% worked incredibly well for me. It certainly ticked all the boxes that they claimed, and I live for it. So there's that. However, I have seen a lot of people who hate it, don't like it, found it very drying on their hair. So it's definitely the case that it doesn't work for everybody's hair, every hair type perhaps. So yeah, I don't think, I mean, obviously it's overrated if it doesn't work for you. For me, it was rated accurately and it's life-changing. But another thing, you know, I think Olaplex tried to say it works for all hair types, and that, you know, if some people are saying it's drying their hair out, then that is not true. Suze says most beauty influencers use their job as an excuse for their shopping addiction and hoarding. I have never heard this one before. I have not heard. This is a brand new information for me. I think there's a few things here. I'm sure there are probably influencers, creators who have a shopping addiction, and that's a part of their life potentially. I certainly don't, I'm not qualified to diagnose anyone with any kind of addiction whatsoever. I can only speak for myself, and that's definitely not the case here. And I'd be very surprised if it was most creators, honestly, because if that was the case, a lot of them would probably have gone bankrupt by now and be, you know, not doing YouTube anymore. So yeah, I think there's definitely a bit of things look odd if you're not behind the curtain. I think there's a bit of that, because ultimately, can you have a makeup platform channel without buying every single release that comes out? Yes, definitely. I definitely don't buy every single release, and I would definitely rather not. I also am an anti, whatever the opposite of a hoarder is, that's me. I have, you know, pretty standard couple of drawers full of makeup, and I refuse to have stuff that doesn't fit in those drawers. As soon as the drawers are full, I do a clear out, and I palm as much stuff off as possible on other people, let me say, because I just do not want a lot of stuff, any category of stuff, especially not makeup. And for me, I actually find it really hard to purchase products and makeup that I actually don't want, am not interested in, maybe even don't like. Like, that is a painful thing for me to have to force myself to do. But when I know it's going to be a useful, good, successful video, I kind of have to push myself to purchase products. An example also would be like my Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. If I was a regular consumer without a a beauty channel, I probably would have purchased 1 or 2 shades, my favorite couple of shades, whereas having a YouTube channel, that wouldn't be very helpful in my video. So I purchased 6, covered a range of shades that I knew would be helpful for swatches and people trying to choose shades. So we do decide things a bit differently based on how useful the video is going to be, how many colors or shades of something I need to make a useful, helpful video, and do comparisons and things like that. So what might look like excess and buying a crazy amount to a consumer kind of makes sense to a creator. But yeah, I'm sure that there are probably exceptions, and I'm sure there are people with unhealthy purchasing habits that are sort of encouraged or hidden by the fact that they're a creator. But I also think a lot of what looks like excessive spending, excessive purchasing, probably a lot of it could be PR. They're not actually purchasing as much as you think. A lot of it is for their channel, and the way to get views on YouTube is purchasing new makeup. You can create videos and you can have a channel without doing that, but I promise you it won't grow and you won't get as many views without purchasing new products. So I think there's a bit of that, and chasing views and knowing that that is what gets the biggest views. So yeah, I think it's kind of hard to know what's going on without seeing and knowing what the reality is of actually trying to compete in the beauty space. Queen of Klutz says, fillers and Botox always end up looking awful and obvious. I mean, I don't know. I'm not fully in the know about these things. My understanding is that Botox freezes the muscles, right? So, you know, if you raise your forehead, basically I couldn't do that as much if I had Botox. That's my understanding, and therefore it stops you seeing the lines, because you can't actually really raise your forehead as extremely, and it stops the wrinkles forming or getting worse. That's my understanding. I'm clearly not an expert. Filler, I think, is the bigger cause of more so stranger faces, because my understanding is that it can migrate and go somewhere differently to where it was put, like a child. So I mean, I've definitely seen some botched jobs when it comes to fillers and when it comes to Botox, way too much for, you know, lips and things like that, cheeks. Migrated filler can cause, you know, an odd look. But here's what I ponder, is that actually if it's done nicely without going over the top, you might not know that it's there. So it always looking terrible and obvious only when you know, because it's extreme. Do you see what I'm saying? If it's done subtly and really, really well, you wouldn't know it was there. So you're only seeing and noticing maybe the bad jobs or the over-the-top jobs. Possibly, is that the case? Who knows? Do you know what's happening? I think subtle lip fillers can be really nice, especially if people have, you know, really thin lips and they want to be able to, you know, have a proper lipstick on and have a full natural pout. I think they can look beautiful. I don't really know a lot about it, to be honest. I don't, but I have definitely seen people with lip fillers that I think look amazing. And I know a lot of people who use Botox, and without them telling me, I wouldn't know they'd had it. Tam Hild, how dare you? Makeup wipes are the most efficient way to remove makeup. Straight to jail for you. Here's the thing, I use makeup wipes. I don't know when I stopped using them, probably when I discovered YouTube, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I used to think the same thing, and then I found oil cleansers. One is actually much quicker, much gentler on areas like the eyes, and the thing is, makeup wipes are quick to get the visible makeup off, but I think you'll find if you then go in with micellar water and a cotton pad, there's still going to be residue on there, and you could be doing that all day. Whereas I feel like an oil cleanser and then a proper, a double cleanse is probably quicker, easier, more gentle on your skin and more efficient, in my opinion. But, you know, each to their own. And I do have a time and a place for makeup wipes, swatches, definitely. And also travel. Sometimes you can't take a full kit. You might not even have a mirror or a private bathroom, something like that. Makeup wipes might be your only option. But yeah, I have to respectfully disagree and clutch my pearls, even though I'm not wearing any. McNally Sue says, I don't like RuPaul's Drag Race. I've never seen it. Is that allowed? Is that bad? I've never seen it. I don't even know where I can watch it. So if your unpopular opinion is that you don't like it, I'm much worse off than you because I've never even seen it. So there you go. Vegas 9 says, I have yet to find a single thing from Pat McGrath that I like. What? I'm shook. Now, here's the thing, Vegas 9, don't panic, don't be alarmed, don't feel like there's something wrong with you. I had probably 4 or 5 of these. Pat McGrath is repetitive and boring. Pat McGrath's overpriced. Pat McGrath's overrated. I also had a similar few for Natasha Denona and a similar few for Charlotte Tilbury. And here's my takeaway. Okay, I love all of those brands. I don't love the customer service with Pat McGrath, but products I absolutely love. So yes, lots of people love those brands. Lots of people don't as well. Everybody has, you know, their preferences. Everyone has a specific type of form. Everyone has different formulas they like and don't like, and products that work and don't work for them, and just preferences, color stories, things like that. And there's nothing wrong with like feeling like you don't like a brand that everyone else likes. You do you. Don't be forced into thinking I have to keep buying stuff from this brand because everyone says it's great, even though it's just not my experience. Everyone has a unique, different experience, and different products work differently for different people. You like what you like. Nothing wrong with that. Tatiana says, half of the face with blushes, cheeks and all around the eyes, like Pat, for example, does, is strange and not flattering. So I think you're talking about like blush draping, which I understand is something that Pat often does in like her editorial images, things like that. It's quite a like makeup artist technique. To me, it's not always, but it's typically something that we see in editorial makeup. It's makeup for photo shoots, for Instagram. I have never in real life seen anyone walking on the school run, walking the dog in the office with draped blush. I will say that I hope to, because I would love it. I think it looks incredible, gorgeous, beautiful. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. But it's not for me. I wouldn't do my blush that way. It's not my preference, but I appreciate the art of it and I think it can look stunning. But I do think typically it is something that is done for photo shoots, for Instagram, for editorial makeup, as opposed to something we're expected to like do every day. But I don't know, am I wrong? What do we think? Okay, so that is all of the unpopular opinions I have time to react to. I hope you enjoyed this. This was so much fun. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in your unpopular opinions. It was just fun to do something a bit different and a little bit shocking. You bunch of feisty little beings, you. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye, 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 bye.